the record, Dancing on Nails.
A song that in the beginning we didn't initially intend to be the opening track, or as it turned out to be the first single. When it got to the point where we were picking the songs that were going to be on the record, obviously we wrote hundreds of them. We were trying out different orders, and that song, it just jumped out as a great opening tune, as it encapsulated us four as people and as musicians, and really led into what the album was going to be.
Yeah, that song, I think the reason why we chose to let it lead off the record and be the first official release of the single is it really shows the four personalities of this band. That song has like a Motown bass line from Brian, Bruno being from Brazil feels drum beats and rhythms. There's differently, he uses two snares hitting the side of the snare, and there's a rock, classic rock feel to the guitar playing, and then a very kind of modern blues feel to the vocal, which when it's put all together is the sound of We Are Harlot, but was kind of like a way to kind of get our sound out off the bat. That showed the versatility of who we were and the melting pot of sounds that go into our music. This one, when you write a song, you kind of don't necessarily know what it's going to be about or where it's going to go, or what the lyrical content is going to contain. But this was one that came together really fast musically with us, and then when it came down time for us to work on the lyrical side of it, Danny had just woken up at the crack of 4 p.m. Nice and early, and I was like,
"But gets the one."
Right? So then it was, I was like, all right, we gotta get this tune going, and he's like, I'm not really sure what we should write it about or where we should take it. And I said, well, off subject for a second, how was that girl you were with last night? He said,
"We had sex."
Well, she was a dirty little thing, and I was like, there you go, that's it. And then I think about an hour later we had the song finished. But it's a great rock and roll song. Almost kind of has a Cheap Trick type of feel to it. It's at a fast clip, and has one of my favorite solos that I did on the record, and it's definitely been one of our favorites for a while.
It is.
Number 3.
Someday.
Someday was one of those songs from the very first batch. 6 songs from this record were from the very first batch of songs that we started on like 3.5 years ago. And Someday, from those first 4 chords, which originally Bruno had played on piano, we just knew that song there was something special to it. And funny enough too, when we had signed with Roadrunner Atlantic, that was the kind of the first song
favorite
that they had heard where they're like, well, that's
a hit.
That song's a hit, it's already a fan favorite, and we get so many tweets and emails and stuff with people asking, please give us this song. So if it translates like that, then obviously you have something special. But that song is just that you always have to have that one kind of ballad or song on the record that's that's of that vein, and that's the one. Denial, song 4.
It was a lot of fun to make, and it was one of the later songs. It was one that we wanted to encapsulate within it as something from where everyone came from as musicians coming into this band, and was released mainly because
I think that song was about 2 hours from top to bottom getting it done. That song, I think, to me, kind of like Dancing on Nails too, but more than any other song, shows the 4 personalities of the band. It's a rapid fire rock song. It's got a nice long guitar solo, which of course I love to play guitar. But you can hear all of the personalities of each guy in that song a lot, and it's still one of, if not maybe in the top 2 of my favorites on the record, for sure. That if there was like that time capsule of something that you had to put away to show somebody who We Are Harlot was, 200 years from now, that's the song I would put in there at this point.